It's the World Cup of World Cups. Qatar 2022, the round of 16. Hello and welcome to the World Cup of World Cups podcast. I'm James Cook. I'm joined as usual by Paul Savage. Good morning, Paul.
Morning.
Here we are on the first rest day of the 2022 World Cup.
Which is why I'm under a duvet.
There is no football today. I don't know what to do.
We'll record a podcast about football, obviously.
I might get some of the neighbours to try play football in my garden while I sat and watched it and ate dime bars and played on my phone.
I'm going to bid £1 billion so that they go to a different garden that doesn't really need the dime bar industry. In fact, they're going to say that they can have dime bars there, even though they're illegal. And then 3 days before, they're going to ban dime bars.
There have been 56 games, only 8 to go.
I reckon I've watched probably 40 live.
Yeah, I think I've done about that as well.
I think that's too much.
That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is it's not enough.
I haven't watched all of the correct ones. That's for a start.
Well, before we crack on into the round of 16, a massive apology from me. In the last episode, I said that all non-native coaches had been eliminated. I was wrong. Paulo Bento, the Portuguese coach of South Korea, was still in. He's not in now. I think it was a wasted opportunity not renaming the technical area while he was in it the Bento box.
Spoiler, by the way. Some people are genuinely getting their information about what's happening in this World Cup from us. Graham Woods, who did our design, said, I'm only getting the information from you guys. I'm boycotting the entire thing. I'm not even looking at the news website.
I also should apologise for missing out that Christian Bassagog of Cameroon once played for the Wilmington Hammerheads.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to correct those two mistakes as we head into the second round, which started on Saturday when the Netherlands passed the ball from Dumfries to Memphis, which sounds like a Proclaimers lyric. I passed the ball from Dumfries to Memphis.
It's the only way that Scotland could get any involvement at this World Cup was from McAllister. McAllister.
Or there's others that I'm going to tell you about in a minute. Yes, but Memphis Depay scores the opener. Daley Blind adds a second before half-time.
He runs to his dad. He's on the bench.
It was very sweet. Haji Wright scores a goal that's either an accident or a work of complete genius to get one back for the States before Denzel Dumfries adds the third. Denzel Dumfries named after...
Denzel Washington.
Correct. He played twice for Aruba when he was 18 before switching to the Netherlands. And he has two cousins who are kickboxers. So be nice.
I wasn't going to be rude. I'm very well-mannered.
The United States squad featured Serginho Dest, who is half Dutch and born in the Netherlands. So that must have been tricky for him. The hilariously named centre-back Walker Zimmerman.
Oh, nice. He's named after two types of frame.
Yunus Musa, who played at 4 youth levels for England. Could have played for England, mate. Could have still been in it. Giovanni Reina, who was born in Sunderland because his dad is...
Pepe Reina.
Claudio Reina, who used to play for Sunderland.
I was going to say, like, why would Pepe Reina be having children in Sunderland? But then some weirder things have happened.
Giovanni Reina's mom is also US international, Danielle Egan. Giovanni Reina is named after...
Giovanni von Bronckhorst.
That's right, who his dad played with at Rangers. Cameron Carter-Vickers, born in Southend.
And weirdly, a pre-war biplane manufacturer.
Yes. His dad played in the NBA. Jesus Ferreira, whose dad David played for Colombia. Shaq Moore, whose dad Wendell played for Trinidad and Tobago. And Tim Ream, who in 2012 cancelled his honeymoon in Tahiti to sign for Bolton Wanderers. Lionel Messi scores his first ever World Cup knockout goal.
Putting in the head. Cristiano Ronaldo and me.
So there goes one of our favourite facts. Alvarez also scores, gives Argentina a 2-0 lead over Australia, and you think, well, that's that then. But an own goal from Enzo Fernandez makes the last 15 minutes a bit more interesting, and Aziz Behich nearly scores one of the greatest goals of all time.
Oh, no. Just for the narrative, you're begging that to go in. And then in the final minutes, there is a real good chance that Emi Martinez does very well to save.
He's a good goalkeeper, you know. So Australia, they put up a bit of a fight at the end, which was great to see, but sorry to patronise them, but the plucky underdogs are out. And their squad featured Harry Souttar, born in Aberdeen, and Jason Cummings, born in Edinburgh. 2 Scottish-born players in the second round of a World Cup. I never thought I'd live as long. On to Sunday's games. Oliver Giroud becomes France's all-time top scorer with 52 goals when he scores the opener against Poland. And then Kylian Mbappe runs up to him and jumps, and they share a very intimate moment. Find someone who looks at you the way that Kylian Mbappe looks at Olivier Giroud.
What I quite liked is I was listening to it on the radio. They had a French commentator on at half-time, and they're all like, oh, yeah, Olivier Giroud, never thought he'd break that record. And he just went, I mean, you do realise he's only going to hold it for about a year and a half before Mbappe breaks it. And everyone was just like, let the man have it for a bit.
Yeah, let him have his fun. I now sing Ollie Giroud to the tune of Metal Guru by T-Rex and can't stop.
Oh, yes. The other one that I do is Mertesacker Emptiness.
In the second half, Kylian Mbappe scores 2 goals to go top of the Golden Boot standings with 5, and he just looks very good indeed.
Yeah, it's almost like he might be a generational talent.
And then in the 99th minute, Poland are awarded a very dodgy penalty, which Lloris initially saves from Lewandowski, but the referee lets him take it again because why not?
It did feel like a children's birthday party where one of the children hasn't got a prize. I mean, there was encroachment and the keeper off the line, but that will happen if you're going to take 2.5 hours to actually take the run-up.
Yes, a stupid run-up.
But I don't think the stuttering run-up is as effective as just hitting it properly like an adult. I mean, I would if I was in charge of FIFA and ban that. You'd have to have a smooth run-up.
How do you judge that, though? Oh, God, can you imagine the VAR checks on whether a run-up was smooth or not? Then in the evening, it's Senegal-England.
Which I went into with, well, what can only be described as 38 years of being proved right about not wanting to trust England. So I was like, I think we've got this on paper. Senegal are a good team. And then for the first half an hour, England, they were not good. And then suddenly they went, oh, should we be good?
They got away with it for a little bit. But then Jude Bellingham, who's just amazing, runs forward and passes it to Jordan Henderson, who becomes the 7th different goal scorer for England at this World Cup, which is a national record.
Yay!
And then 5 minutes later, Harry Kane becomes the 8th and also England's top scorer in major tournaments with 11.
Are we including the Nations League, or has he never scored in that, so it doesn't count?
That's not a major tournament.
You keep trying to say it is. It isn't.
And then in the second half, Phil Foden's lovely bit of work on the wing and nutmegged cross is dinked in over Mendy by Bukayo Saka, which equals the record for the most England goals at a World Cup with 12, which is the record set in 2018.
In 2 games fewer?
Actually, in 3 games fewer.
Oh, yes, because we got to the third place playoff.
The Senegal squad featured, and I know it's not pronounced like this, but it's spelt like this, Mustafa Name. Name by name?
Name by nature.
Name's the name.
The name's name. Mustafa Name.
Listen, if you're going to be a footballer, you must have a name. I imagine it's pronounced Name or something like that.
Yeah. And what this has been is like incredibly dodgy musical based.
Who names on first?
Neymar.
Do you think Neymar named name?
No, don't, James.
Japan, Croatia. Maeda gives Japan the lead. He used to play for Mito Hollyhock. And this is the game that everyone thought Japan was going to win.
Certainly when they went 1 ahead, the Croatians had offered very little up until that point. And then they did that thing where they just start grinding it out, but in a quite technically impressive way.
Yeah, in the second half, Ivan Perisic heads in from 12 yards, the longest range header of the World Cup so far. And that means he is tied with Davor Suker with 6 goals to be Croatia's all-time top World Cup goal scorer.
Became the 4th player at these World Cups to have scored at the last 3 World Cups. And the others are, James?
Messi.
Yep.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yep.
And a mysterious 4th person.
Yeah.
Whose name escapes me.
He's got 6 sides.
Bobby Hexagon.
No. He's cube-shaped.
Oh, Xherdan Shaqiri.
Yeah.
Ram Man from the He-Man universe. So Japan-Croatia is the first game at this World Cup to go to penalties. Takumi Minamino steps up first for Japan, and his penalty is saved. In 2014, Minamino held the world record for high fives in a minute, with 187 while running down Komagawa Street in Osaka. The record has been broken several times since and now stands at 290. Kaoru Mitoma and Maya Yoshida also have penalties saved, and Marko Livaya hits the post, which means Mario Pasalic has the chance to win it for Croatia, and he does, as they win the shootout 3-1, meaning of the 8 penalties taken, 4 of them were not scored. But Croatia's Dominik Livakovic is the third goalkeeper to make 3 saves in a single World Cup penalty shootout after Portugal's Ricardo in 2006 against England.
One of those was cheating.
And Croatia's Daniel Subasic versus Denmark in 2018. Croatia have had 3 penalty shootouts at World Cups, and they've won all of them. Also, every time they've got out of the groups, they've got to at least the semi-finals so far. You know, there's omens there. Can we talk a bit about the camera angle they're choosing to use for penalty shootouts?
Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
I don't like it. I can't see what's happening.
Yeah, it does make all of the penalties look weak. I can't tell whether the ones that they are actually weak.
What was wrong with the side view? Stop trying to turn everything into the bloody computer game.
That's what it is.
They're going to start having a little dial on the side which goes up to show you how strong it is next. And then in the evening, professional dance troupe Brazil score 4 goals in 36 minutes against South Korea and then ease off so they can work on their routine for regionals.
They're going to do some flips. The Richarlison goal is something ridiculous. He takes it on his head and then juggles it 3 times and then passes. And again, we're trying to turn it into FIFA, the game. It did seem like a goal that you'd score in FIFA Street.
A lot of people were like, it's the old Brazil are back. The old Brazil. I can't remember the old Brazil being as douchey as this lot.
Yeah. Roy Keane has made himself a figure of hate in Brazil because he doesn't like dancing. And it turns out that Brazil loves dancing, loves this current Brazil team, and does not like being criticised.
Basically, Roy Keane is John Lithgow in the movie Footloose at this point.
Why can't you just play? Stop being footloose, Kevin Bacon.
Baconio. South Korea get a consolation in the second half, and then Brazil bring on their third-choice goalkeeper, Weatherton, who has brothers called Warsenal, Whipswich, and Waldham Athletic.
Weatherton sounds like the secretary in a 70s sitcom. Weatherton, please come here.
Someone baby talking Everton. Oh, do you support Weatherton?
Are you the toffees, are you? You like a little toffee?
But that means Brazil are the first team at this World Cup to use all 26 of their squad players.
Yeah, if you're going to use them, do bring them on when the game is essentially done.
Then yesterday afternoon, Morocco-Spain, which is not a great game, but extra time it really picks up. Italian-born Walid Chedira misses a bunch of chances, and in the last minute, the substitute for Spain who just come on, Pablo Sarabia, hits the post.
And it's a really well-taken shot. Like, even getting it onto the post from there is quite impressive.
And in the shootout, Pablo Sarabia, who loved hitting the post so much, decides to hit the other post. And Carlos Soler and Sergio Busquets have their penalty saved by Bono.
And we all love that. Just all agreeing that tonight, thank God it's them instead of you.
Even though the other late substitute, Badir Benoun, nicknamed the Sultan, has his penalty saved, Hashim Hakimi has the chance to win it, and he does a tiny little panenka and then dances like a penguin.
Little penguinenka.
Which means Morocco are through to the quarterfinals for their first time, and they have become the 4th African nation to make it that far. It is Spain's 4th penalty defeat at World Cup out of 5, which means they are the worst at penalties ever.
Worse than England.
Well, you say that. England are currently on 3 out of 4. So, you know, there's still games to go.
Oh, no. I've just made myself violently ill. Even the thought of it.
The Spanish squad featured Nico Williams, not the one who plays for Wales, the one whose brother plays for Ghana. And Hugo Guillamon, who is currently doing a degree in biomedical engineering.
Fair play to him, unless he's using it for evil.
He's going to try and genetically engineer a good Spanish penalty taker.
Who is called the Guillemot.
Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal drop Cristiano Ronaldo, which gives ITV a crisis over what to call them.
And they are such a better side without him. Oh, maybe we should have been doing this for about 3-4 years at this point.
They end up winning 6-1 against Switzerland, the biggest ever round of 16 victory. Gonçalo Ramos, who comes in for Ronaldo, scores a hat-trick on his first international start, which is so funny.
And there was a bit where they went to do substitutions, and I did think they weren't going to bring on Ronaldo, which would have been the funniest thing. Or, what would have been funnier, bring him on and then immediately stop him off.
They do bring him on, and he does score a goal, but it's miles offside, so it's disallowed. Ha ha. Earlier, Pepe, at 39, becomes the oldest ever player to score in a World Cup knockout game, and the second oldest World Cup goal scorer ever, behind Roger Miller, whose record-breaking goal also came in a game that finished 6-1. So Switzerland are out, which is bad news for Edmilson Fernandes, the fullback, because he is the cousin of former Portuguese international Manuel Fernandes. Christmas dinner at their house is going to be awkward.
Family WhatsApp thread, not as much fun as it used to be.
So the round of 16 has been really fun. There have been 3.5 goals per game. The group goal per game was 2.5. Which means this World Cup is currently at 2.64, which is about the same as the last two.
Portuguese-speaking countries outscored English-speaking countries, Spanish-speaking countries, and French-speaking countries, but not quite combined.
Before we have a look at the quarterfinal bracket, we've had an email.
You can always email us.
Yes, it's at worldcupofworldcups@gmail.com. This is from Gavin, who says, my son Matthew, aged 10, is a big fan of your podcast. He thinks it's really funny.
Yay! We're reaching the coveted 10-year-old market. Sign us up, the Beano.
His favourite episode is 1958. How cool is this 10-year-old?
Yes, absolute little football hipster.
He really likes the bit about the Mexican player who cried because he couldn't get the food he wanted. I suppose that's relatable to a 10-year-old in many ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Matthew has put together his own World Cup quiz.
Oh, yes, please.
So these are the questions. He has not provided the answers. I think I know what some of the answers are, but we'll go through it. So this is Matthew's World Cup quiz. Number 1, name the 2 African-born Golden Boot winners.
Eusebio. Oh, just Fontaine.
Yes, I agree with you. I don't know because he hasn't given us the answers, but I agree with you. Number 2, what year did El Salvador qualify for the World Cup?
82.
Yeah, I agree. Question 3. Who is the eldest England player at this World Cup?
I'm going to say Henderson.
Yeah, I think it's Henderson as well. I agree. Question 4. What year did Sweden host the World Cup? I'll give you a clue. It's Matthew's favourite.
It's 58, yeah.
Yeah. Question 5. How many World Cups have Canada?
3 now.
No, it's 2. It's 2. Surely.
2.
It's 86 and now. All right, number 6. Due to FIFA World Rankings, what is the biggest ever World Cup shock? Is it Argentina versus Saudi Arabia this year, South Africa, France in 2010, South Korea, Italy in 2002, or Senegal, France in 2002?
South Africa, France.
Yeah, I think it's South Africa, France, because I remember we talked about this quite recently.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that otherwise.
Number 7. Who are the only team not to lose a game at the 2010 World Cup?
Be somebody who drew 3 times.
Yes, it is.
Italy.
New Zealand.
I
think it's New Zealand. Question 8. Who won the 5th World Cup?
I'm going to have to do maths here.
Paul will now have to count to 5.
Uruguay.
I think it's West Germany.
Is it 54?
54.
Yes.
I think it's West Germany.
Yeah, of course it is.
Number 9. Have Turkey ever won a medal at the World Cup?
Yeah, they got 3rd place.
Yeah, in 2002. And finally, question 10. How many goals did Holland score in the 2002 World Cup?
None, because they're the Netherlands.
Do you know what, Paul? That was my initial answer, and then I realised Matthew's a lot cleverer than we are.
He's a little... Oh.
The answer is 1, because Matt Holland.
Matt Holland
scored. So we think those are the answers, Matthew. Please let us know how we did.
Can't believe I've been bested by a 10-year-old.
So thank you very much to Matthew and Gavin for sending that email in. You can, of course, also support us at ko-fi.com/World Cup of World Cups if you've enjoyed this nonsense.
What I quite like there is having a 10-year-old start taking over from us, because we've essentially created our own youth team.
We are already the Cristiano Ronaldo level, and he's Gonçalo Ramos coming in and usurping us. And everyone's going to like, we don't need those two anymore. We've got Matthew now. If anything, they're slowing him down. Shall we have a look at the bracket for the quarterfinals then?
Yes, please.
First one is going to be Croatia-Brazil.
Two very different styles of football. And then whichever one they play against Croatia.
I mean, Brazil didn't do great against Switzerland, who I suppose Croatia are a bit like.
They really turned it on in the last game. And it really does depend which one they come out and play as.
You'd think Brazil, wouldn't you? But Croatia are essentially the new Germany.
Yeah, they are the champions of grinding it out. I think Brazil. I don't think it'll be a big win. I think it'll be 2-1.
Yeah, I think it might be tight. Brazil winning 7-0. Netherlands-Argentina on Friday night. What a game that looks like it's going to be. And I have no idea how that's going to go.
Yeah, I cannot pick that.
Yeah, it is the 6th time that they've played each other at World Cups, including the 1978 final, which Argentina won, and the 1998 quarterfinal, which was won by Dennis Bergkamp's incredible goal. So
really hard, this.
Yeah.
I reckon it'll be slightly cagier than everyone expects, and I reckon it might go to extra time.
Yeah, I mean, of course, semi-final as well in 2014 went to extra time penalties after a 0-0, so it could well be that. Morocco-Portugal. Morocco, the big surprise team that no one saw come in, but Portugal without Ronaldo look amazing.
I think that this is where the plucky underdogs run out of road.
Yeah, sorry, Portugal, you're going out. And then England-France. Look, we're in uncharted territory here.
I'm not predicting it.
This reminds me so much of 2002 and 1986, where England won their second round games 3-0 and looked good, and then went up against one of the favourites and didn't win. Lost 2-1 in both cases, and I can see that happening again. We look really good, Paul. We looked really good, but they've got Kylian Mbappe.
They are a one-man team, but one player is so much better than all the others, but then the rest of them are still world class. So imagine that game's going to be absolutely dreadful.
Let's hope it's tense and annoying, because I've had my gig pulled on Saturday, so I'm going to watch it. All right. Well, we will reconvene after the quarterfinals, either jubilant or depressed. We'll find out. Yes. Thanks very much for downloading. Please rate and review wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm on social media at James E. Cook.
I'm at Comedy Savage.
Buy our books. We'll see you again. Thanks very much. This has been the World Cup of World Cups. Until next time, ta-ra.
Bye.